we jump into today's video, guys, just as a reminder, we do have our new merch. It is on our website. Link is down below. Definitely don't miss your opportunity to get one of these really cool designs we did. Once again, here's the back. Pull day keeps the mechanic away. Front of it, this one is a hoodie. This one is a shirt. There it is, catching lane. Looks good, guys. Like I said, don't miss your opportunity. Again, we do have our banners up on the website. And yes, for those asking, I will do a video update later on. Some of you know that I have the R8 and the Lamborghini, but again, that'll be a different video. But let's jump into today. A lot of cool stuff to get into. Good morning, guys. My last time driving this Mugen Si in stock form and front wheel drive. Very last time. And we are pushing the limits right now because I don't want to put gas in it because I gotta pull the gas tank out of it. So we are no bars on gas light, and I gotta drive all the way from the house to the shop. So hopefully that doesn't bite me in the butt on that one. So let's go ahead and get this day started. Like I said, this is the last time driving this thing in stock form. Now it's for the fun stuff. So got a lot planned for this. I got to wrap up a couple things at the shop today. Today is Friday, always the busiest time ending out the week. So I do have several things I got to get done today. I do have a tune I got to get done, along with build a couple short blocks, get those ready to get shipped out, along with a couple other projects. So definitely a lot going on, but being the end of the week means that we are getting closer to the weekend, and then I can start to work on this a little bit. So hopefully get this thing 100% ready to go to Fab for Tuesday is when they're going to be back, and then it'll be ready to go into Fab for getting clearance for the all-wheel drive, for the transfer case in the front, getting the rear done, the turbo kit done, a lot of things. But should we hit VTEC one last time, even though we're pushing the limits here of our fuel? So either A, I'm going to be walking to the shop, or B, we're gonna hear good old VTEC. This never gets old. Good old traction control. I forget these cars have that on them. Older ones definitely didn't have traction control. All right, let's get some coffee, head to shop. Welcome back, guys. Definitely feels good to be back after being off of YouTube for so long. And you guys saw our last video introducing our Mugen and the dyno pull videos that we had on it. So thank you again for watching. Just to let you guys know, we still do have some merch on the website. So if you want to take a look over there, then link is down in the description. We still do have some stuff left, so be sure to grab it while you can before we do run out. Today is gonna be a banger. Now, I'm not gonna try to talk your ear off too bad in this video because I would like to make some good progress in it as well and not draw this video out, but there is a lot of things to go over before we jump into today of taking this car apart. And I had kind of hinted in the last video, and that is true. This thing is gonna be going all-wheel drive, and I will tell you that things have escalated. When I originally bought this, my plan was to turbo it 100%. I already thought about it when I had bought it, and that was the plan. Front wheel drive, stock motor, simple build, maybe 500 wheel, but you know me, things quickly escalate. And with doing more research and time, obviously all-wheel drive Hondas being the new thing, the 8th gen chassis just doesn't have enough out there that shows people doing this or how they're doing it and what's involved and how difficult it is. So I am excited to be able to show this. I had reached out to someone that had already done it in one of these, and they actually make a kit. And like I said, the information was pretty limited, and that's what brings me to today. Now, starting out today's video, I am going to tell you that it is sponsored by S1 Built. They offer a whole lineup of all-wheel drive parts for your Hondas, regardless of it being an 8th or 9th gen. They have them all the way dating back to the EF chassis, EG and EK, which are the older 92 to 2000 Civics, and obviously 88 to 91. So they offer a huge lineup. I love using their parts. I can tell you that their customer service and shipping time is top notch. I mean, you place the order and they get it out as fast as they can, and there's a lot to be said about that in this industry anymore. So let's go ahead and go over the parts. Like I said, try not to draw this out too much, but behind me I have our JDM importer over here. Had a very limited selection of engines. This is a K24A 200 horsepower model. This particular one came out of an 08 what's comparable Odyssey in Japan. So it is a 3-lobe engine, the good one that you want. You can find these at JDM importers for anywhere from $900 to $1,300 depending on condition. I was just going to throw this in again, stock motor, put a K24 in it, gain up the torque because that is a K20, so a 2-liter not having as much torque as obviously a 2.4. But again, things keep escalating. So I am doing pistons and rods in this. I am going to not sleeve it because that's not where my power goals land. My power goals with this thing are 600 to 700, and yes, there's a chance that may grow, but I'm going to try to keep it there. So I'm going to do pistons and rods in this, built heads, which you'll notice some of the parts are here, some are not yet. But like I said, let's jump over to the right here, big pallet. Biggest thing you'll see, I tried to find and source the cleanest transmission I could to give this car the best that I can. This is an all-wheel drive CRV transmission. This particular one is a 6-speed. This car is a factory 6-speed, so I'd like to keep it like that. That being said, we are at a later time going to open this up, change out the final drive in it, get the right ratio for what we want in this car, and maybe do a gear set, maybe. But right here, we have the S1 Built all-wheel drive kit. Now, something we'll be missing here right now, I do not have their hubs. They'll be getting their hubs out to us here shortly as they are getting machined. But we have their S1 rear diff mount kit. I have a Wago van all-wheel drive setup for this car, which those of you that do know all-wheel drive Hondas, Wago van is an 88 to 91 Wago van. It's literally like a minivan of the Hondas that came all-wheel drive that nobody knew was going to be so great at a later date. They have rear diff, viscous, drive shaft is from that Wago van. I was told that these parts when I bought them had 90,000 miles. Conveniently, this thing just clicked 90,000 miles. So whether that was true from the seller or not, I don't know. That's going to be getting rebuilt, and most likely the rear diff will get an LSD and rebuilt as well. S1 drive shaft here, S1 rear axles to be able to do our all-wheel drive here. It's nice just to buy a brand new upgraded axle over to OEM units, even though OEMs on these seem like they hold quite a bit of power. Drive shaft, this is for my EK, so we are going to have to modify this, I'm assuming, for the length of this car. So may have to go over that. Moving to the right here, I'll jump over. Kind of overshot where my goals were going with this car, and I'm thankful I did when I originally bought the clutch for it. The price difference from a twin disc to a triple disc wasn't that much more, so I went with a triple. Hindsight, I'm pretty happy I did. Turbocharger. Some of you may be asking what size, what we're using. Obviously, I use precision around here all times. This is a 6466 next gen. Something that might throw you off a little bit. This is an H cover, so it is a bigger cover. 3-inch outlet on the compressor. V-band 105 on the back. And we have here our turbo kit stuff to get built. Our Fab Shop is directly next door, so obviously I'm going to have them build the turbo kit to this car. Being a little bit different on this chassis, it's pretty tight, as you guys will see later on. Elmer Racing makes a really quality billet collector. Top notch, guys. So this will be going for our turbo kit, along with a 60 mil wastegate. If those of you know, K-Series love the flow, and they love the boost creep as well. So biggest gate we can get on there, the better. We did a Gato side feed manifold, retaining AC, power steering, full street car in this. That is my plan. I did a set of 1750cc injectors, is what they're called from Injector Dynamic now, aka 1700s. So that's going to be what is going to be used on this build. And then some Super Tech goodies for the head, some bearings for building the short block, a Garrett 1000 horsepower intercooler core. This is a 4.5 inch, I don't remember the length off the top of my head, but it is a 4.5 inch stick. 50 mil blow-off valve, 60 mil wastegate. I am going to be retaining the factory Mugen muffler without modifying that. You'll see that later on. Moving over here, I have a billet head flange for them to build the turbo kit off of. KLM, if you're interested. And in this box, I then open up a set of Hassport mounts. They are the best in the industry when it comes to anything engine swaps. In my opinion, they've been around forever. So that wraps up all the parts. I know that took up probably a good portion of this video. I'm sorry, a lot to go over. I'm gonna get this car on the lift and we're gonna start getting this thing tore apart. I'm gonna go over that with you guys for teardown on this. This very well may split into 2 videos just depending on the length here, because this is a lot to take in. So let's get this thing on the lift and kind of look at what is involved to get this all-wheel drive system in the car and go from there.
What's the matter with me? I think I'm stuck in a dream, and you can feel it too.
Alright, this thing is on the lift now. Gonna try my best to keep this short for pulling this and kind of go through some things. Now the downfall of the 8th and 9th gen of these Civics, a lot of the motors you can see here is underneath the cowl. And actually to service them technically for spark plugs, they say that you have to take this cowl off. It's gonna be a learning curve. I've never actually worked on one of these cars before. I've owned a couple in the past, never did anything to them outside of the normal intake. So definitely gonna be a learning curve. I have one of my good friends, Jamie, that you guys will be seeing that's going to come by. He has a pretty modified FG2, which is a coupe version of this, and he has quite a bit of know-how for that. So I may leave some of this for until he gets here, just to be quick at it. But one thing that's same, no matter what car, when you start on it to work on it, I like to drain the fluids first. I'm going to leave the oil in the motor because I shouldn't be needing anything out of this, and that might have been something I didn't touch topic on. So another point of why I did, obviously I needed the all-wheel drive transmission. I could have converted the stock trans to an all-wheel drive transmission, and I could have very well used a 2-liter. The reason why I want K24 is because I know that I want to do a K24 at some point of this car, and the K24 is 3/4 of an inch taller. So what that means is the motor is obviously going to come up, the turbo kit's going to change. I would rather just do it once, do it right. And this car being low mileage, and the route I'm doing it, I can literally drop this whole swap, put it in the corner. I'm going to throw some ATF in the cylinders, crank it over, and then tuck it away in the corner. This is a VIN matching swap to this car. Everything I'm doing for the most part is not going to be damaging or cutting this thing up. Obviously some are going to be asking about the all-wheel drive rear diff, which I'll show you once we get it in there. You technically have to drill 2 holes through the rear subframe to be able to mount that. So that isn't as bad as the EK, where you do need to cut into the belly pan because where the differential sits, it sits too high. So not gonna be cutting this thing up. We do have to weld a bar in the back for the diff, but that could be cut off and coated if we ever were to change our mind, put this thing back to stock. These things become, you know, a $2 million car, which they never will. But again, I'm not gonna be ruining it, but I don't wanna own the car stock. I would rather make it my own. That's the whole point of owning a car, right? So in the air, gonna drain the radiator fluid. I'm gonna leave the oil in it because, like I said, I'm not gonna be taking it apart. I'm gonna throw this thing in the air. I'm gonna show you guys underneath what I'm talking about to get that transfer case through. Is gonna be one of the bigger hurdles on this. The rear is gonna be all figured out with that kit. We simply have to drill those 2 holes for those bolts you see there. Mount that up in OEM fashion, bolt on the hubs, weld 1 bar in, rear's done. Front is going to be the more involved part that no one is showing any information on. I am going to be transparent, show you guys all along the build. We have our fabrication shop right next door, so they're already on board, said no problem, we're going to knock it out. So let's get this coolant drained, and while we're doing that, I'm going to show you underneath the car. All right, you're going to see me be a nerd with this big snap-on light, but this will be the best way I can show you. Moving underneath the car, this thing is really clean, thankfully. We have a pretty different setup on this thing, and I'm trying to figure out how to hold this light. What you see here is a subframe on the bottom of the car here, and obviously the front of the car is that way. And you can see that subframe. So with having this subframe is what makes this more complicated than that chassis over there, because we obviously don't have a subframe. Well, we do have a subframe, I should say, but it is mounted differently and not underneath the engine like this one is. So hopefully, yep, you can still see. That's what the hurdle is going to be, because the power steering is actually mounted on this subframe that is this square, and it is electronic power steering. I obviously would like to keep power steering in this car, My goal is to keep this as OEM driving as possible, and that's going to be a key factor. So one good thing about this is you can see where the exhaust comes down, there is quite a bit of room already. Now the downfall is that power steering rack that mounts there, you'll see is right there. Now the problem is that T-case is going to come across pretty much where this exhaust is, a little bit over to the driver's side, and it's going to make contact with that power steering. So that's what we're going to have to sort out. I'm not going to go too far into that right now. I want to show you guys on that video what we have planned, but I promise I'm going to be transparent and show that. Moving to the rear, obviously we're going to have to get rid of our factory gas tank. It's just not going to work. This car thankfully does have a tunnel. I know on the RSXs that tends to be a problem because they actually don't have a formed exhaust tunnel, which we're going to be using as a drive shaft tunnel. So this car does, and the gas tank is right in the way. So we are going to have to pull the gas tank. Once we get that thing moved out of the way, that's when I'm going to be able to show you quite a bit more back there. The rear is pretty straightforward as it can be. Casted hub from S1. They make a really nice design there. Let me put this light aside. A really nice piece that just bolts onto all the OEM locations. Obviously once I get it, I'll walk you guys through it, and it's gonna be super nice because we can take this hub off, bolt that hub on just like factory, and then it's gonna bolt up to our factory control arms. Everything's gonna stay the same. We'll mount our rear diff mount the diff, and then just weld a bar in. Super straightforward for the rear, not even stressed at all about that. The front obviously is the more stressed part just because no one is sharing information on it and what's involved. I think it's gonna be pretty straightforward. I already had Chris and Craig over at the Fab Shop next door, Straight Fab, take a look at it, and they said, yeah, no problem, we'll get it sorted out. We have access to a lathe and any kind of fabrication piece that's gonna need to be to make like billet inserts or space it down. Thus far, we're gonna have to dive into that. So that's where that's gonna land. I think I'm just gonna put the thing down and start draining some fluid instead of tossing the air out.
I think I'm stuck in a drain, and you can feel it too. What's the matter with me? Don't drop, won't fall on a feather bed. Don't stop if you sleep in the desert. Better settle with the sound you get. The sound you get. Got away with the pocket and make believe. Burning lungs that you plan, and I'm trading for a feeling that you'll never leave. You'll never leave. All the fake speech, you know I get it. All the letdowns making me live it. Every day it's feeling on repeat. Every day it's feeling on repeat. All the fake speech, you know I get it. All the letdowns making me live it. Every day it's feeling on repeat. Every day it's feeling on repeat. What's the matter with me? Think I'm stuck in a dream. And you can
All right, we got the professional here, Jamie.
Yeah.
He knows exactly. All right, we'll start this out. Please don't tell me I gotta pull my shit all apart inside the car, because I ain't trying to do that to get this fucking O2 sensor out.
Yes.
No fucking way.
The center console has to come out
Ain't no
because
way.
the O2 is actually connected underneath the center console. So yes. So we can maybe we don't have to pull the center console here.
I pray to God we don't have to pull that thing.
Oh, ouch. Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, okay, Mr. Professional. I told you, master over here.
I pulled it on mine, but yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go. Now we don't even have to worry about that. Well, I guess it's going back on anyway, so we'll have to seal that hole.
Did you loosen these already?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
You see they have a nice heat treat on them?
Yeah, I do.
It's from all those 5th and 6th gear poles.
All the
Those that don't know, Jamie has an S2000 you'll see later on, and we were definitely doing some Honda boy shit. We were doing like 3, 4, 5 poles.
Yeah.
We did about 5 of them within a quarter mile.
All of them.
Now, I know they take about a quarter mile to get done, but you know what I mean. It was very short term. Jamie's been over here showing me how it's done. He's just making quick work of this. It's like you just did this on your car.
It is something like that, huh?
Something like that. 4 jack stands underneath on the subframe. Obviously, like I said, that's got to get dropped. Having a lift makes this job really nice. I'm gonna let Jamie control the lift. Maybe I should control the lift. What do you want me to grab?
Well, we just need to make sure that steering shaft comes out. So I'm gonna
Okay.
just over there.
She's dropping down.
Leaking a little.
Yeah, some coolant coming out.
I'm just gonna check this and see.
Then it's just gonna be stuck on the hubs, huh? Kind of. Should we be pulling those out?
Alright.
Sound like you're struggling over there.
It was a little tight because it kind of bounced.
Oh, you were doing that. I thought you were messing with the ball joint.
Oh no.
Because those are in there pretty good still.
Are they? Are they 10?
I mean, mine feel like it is. I'm not gonna be able to grab it with one hand, but these ball joints just unbolt on the bottom there. We got them unbolted, but getting them out, that's a whole different thing.
I think it'll be okay.
Okay.
Go up just a little bit more and then maybe use a drag bar.
There it goes. She's probably never had her motor out in her life.
Oh, I would say no. I would say she hasn't.
No, just had normal maintenance done. Seems like this side, it's right there. I'll let Jamie pop those out. There you go. Matt.
Clear?
Yeah. Yeah, she's going up. It's clear of that shaft, I would think, at the most part, or at least it's going up quite a bit.
Come all the way off the shaft.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I see. Yeah, you are all clear.
Awesome.
Only I would take a perfect running car apart.
Yeah, but no one's done it, so.
Oh, there's what I was talking about. That sumbitch.
Yep.
That motherfucker's in the way. Gives you an idea. Man, it would be so nice if it was like that chassis where it would just be like this right now. It should be easy. But that is going to be the hurdle. Looks pretty straightforward from here. Only thing that really sucks, or is going to suck, is the fact that it still has AC, obviously.
Yeah, which that condenser took a little bit of a hit, I could see in the cooling department.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's that corrosion from that Florida
Yeah.
weather, you know?
Definitely looks like almost might not be a bad idea to replace it.
Yeah.
And the fact that this thing sat for quite a while, guys. The other owner only drove it 200 miles in 2 years, and he had it sitting in his grass. And that's where a lot of this shit came out, all the oxidation. Not ideal, but that's all right. The actual body is just fine. It's just all this. So
Corrosive.
we'll clean that all off, but big step here. This is all done. I think we probably just lift this thing out of the way now.
Yeah, I think we could just pick it up, and they are kind of heavy, but
Yeah.
we can pick it up and move it over.
We went to the parts pile, and then we can continue on to getting the engine out, which I don't think there's too much more.
It's not just two side mounts. Obviously the shift
Yeah.
linkage. We got heater hoses.
It would be pretty easy if I decided to pull the AC out with the motor, but I really don't want to.
Well, and I think we can do the same thing that
Do
we
it.
did with the subframe here. We can just kind of,
Shimmy it around.
yeah, put some jack stands under it and then just go straight up with it. That would, I mean, obviously we're gonna have to undo the line, but
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Is like, do I commit to replacing the condenser? But the AC works like a champ in it.
right.
I'd hate to open the system. Then what? They need a new evaporator.
Not necessarily. I mean, like mine's completely open right now. As long as you pull a good vacuum on it,
Yeah.
and make sure that no debris or anything gets in it, they're usually okay.
Well, I might actually look into getting one of these. This looks like it took a decent rock right there even.
Exactly.
Well, if it makes it easier, we'll see what happens. I might end up replacing the condenser.
We know we got a brand new radiator for it anyway.
Right.
So,
Might as well do a new
condensers
condenser.
Yeah.
They're not that expensive for it. It's just more, I don't want to open the system and have a problem with the system is all.
It's the appeal.
Yeah.
You know, it's not very appealing, but
Definitely is not. All right, well, let's move that thing away. Teamwork makes the dream work. We've been working away on this thing. Obviously, it is pretty far apart now. Just moving fast forward here. I already had pulled the front bumper because there's some things I needed to get off. One being like the noise, sound deadener, water collector that these things have over there. That's obviously not going to be on there anymore. Took the chassis brace off there, the crash bar, gave us more room. Took that condenser out. I am just going to go ahead and replace it. It looks pretty worn over the years, and like I said, you saw some damage on it. So we're going to put some rollers underneath this thing. The motor's ready to come out, and then we're going to get some food because it is definitely food time.
Hungry.
So we're in the hangry stage. I guess we got to lift that K24 up off there, which is pretty sketchy. So let's do that. Here we are, boys. Part out. Not bad. A couple hours hanging out. Now we're gonna go get some food. Swap is out, but that is just the beginning. Definitely quite a bit more to do. I want to give this thing a good cleaning. What is that? That sand?
Yeah,
Florida?
I got
a little beach from Florida over here.
Just the roads and stuff.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to clean this baby out. But the actual chassis is really clean. If you guys take a look, everything's really clean. It's just like the oxidation from just sitting is mainly what it is. Like this is just, it looks like sand, to be honest with you there, but it doesn't look bad. I couldn't find a cleaner car, guys. And I'm sure a lot of you probably would have killed me if I did find a cleaner car and you saw what I was doing right now, but it's as clean as I could find, all right? And I mean, this is how this thing's going in the corner, like virgin, untouched. I'm not using the engine harness or anything off of it. I bought all brand new, so literally this thing is gonna go in the corner. Now I bought an AC pump, so thanks for that. So we're gonna buy that. This has that oxidation stuff on it, so put the bucket there just so it doesn't salvage title the floor while we're gone. But yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
All right, reverse.
All right.
If only it was that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get this thing mocked up for a fab. Now what that entails is that K24, there's quite a bit of stuff that we do need to get put on it. Obviously, I'm not going to put a clutch on it right now while it's in the fab. I'm just going to put that back in the box, bolt the trans up to there. I have intentions of going through motor and trans anyway, so I'm just going to bolt them up together. Not the cleanest thing in the world, but you know, that's all right. That's the fab guy's problem, not my problem. he'll be getting a little dirty. So we'll put that in there, mock up. Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't have to put the exhaust manifold on it because they're going to build a turbo manifold, but we are going to have to bolt our nice brand new intake manifold, that crusty girl. I'll probably clean that department, make sure that's clean. Put the new radiator in. I'm going to put the AC condenser in back in for now because I don't have another one, and they're going to need it to see how far that intercooler is going to have to go. Big old unit up here. They told me, we're not sure if it's going to fit. Calm down, it'll fit. It'll be fine, all right? There's quite a bit of room there. I got faith. So, you ready to get some food or what?
I'm hungry.
All right, me too. Let's go get food. Decision's been made. I'm going to end out the video here. Gonna make you wait for the next one because I think this one's already going to be pretty long. I was already thinking about separating it after my book of talking about what is going in it. So, gonna wait till the next one and then we'll jump into this. When I said I'm doing a new engine harness on it, I did overlook one thing that I did not tell you guys. I think we'll wait. Well, I'll tell you in the next video. So that's going to wrap it up. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you're enjoying my part out process right now. I promise you I will not ruin this car. You will like it when it's done. I'm only improving and making it what Honda should have made and still should have made the Type R all-wheel drive. So shame on you, Honda. Maybe make that decision here soon because all-wheel drive's everything. Later, guys. See you in the next one.
Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. Life up in the fast lane, fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. Life, though you lemons, you just put them in Coronas, Coronas, Coronas. I've been working, I need that advance with the bonus, the bonus, the bonus. Ain't no thoughts about tomorrow, I'm just living in the moment, the moment, the moment. Full tank of gas and 200 on the dash, bitch, I'm zoning, I'm zoning, I'm zoning. Fast lane, living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. Life up in the fast lane, fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane.